So what you're seeing here is back in July, midwinter on the Farmlet Quest, where I was making good progress with my trade me purchases of the bus and the shed. But I would not let the onset of winter slow down my pace, and I was actually really stoked with the result of this gravel getting all around the place on my drives and paths that I then ordered another truckload to go ahead in August here at the location of the new driveway for the new tiny house setup, because I found that it was actually something I could get done in winter. That is just hauling all of this gravel around the whole place to do all of these paths, and I was pleased with that. But I'm sure you'll be heartbroken to know that the footage of this progress to finish up the Farmlet Quest season for winter was on my laptop when it got stolen. And so once again, I wasn't here. I went away for over 2 months into October, and again then I came back. I was at Farmlet Quest episode 1 all over again. The place was totally overgrown again, and although I couldn't bring myself to make a video of showing you all the progress that I had lost, so I am really becoming aware of how I'm going to work this property so that I can get away for some months over winter, and it's almost like Farmlet Quest is now rebooted and reloaded with new missions. I've got to be able to stop the weeds from taking over my whole place, even if I'm gone for 3 months or more in winter. Additional expert level challenges are added to my quest tree on Farmlet Quest. Though essentially what we have is that I have not completed the first main quest. As I said, the winter of our discontent on Farmlet Quest is for real, and I have vassal rebellion raising up electricity bills and plumbing issues, and thus I must call all banners to my armies and lay siege to the castles and drive them from my lands as my right, for I am king. And this is all part of the game, managing the vassals who are refusing to pay tribute and turn their armies on you. This is why you can't have one vassal getting too powerful. So with consequent result being that the income of the kingdom is very much diminished because of the depleted tributes of our dwindling noble lords who serve as vassals, limits my power to amass gold, favours and allies to continue my build-up. So development is stalled. So what we really have here is an up-to-date review. The bus, the water tank and the shed are still not positioned together where they need to be, and this is already making it hard for me to get someone pretty quick, but I don't know if that's the person I want anyway. I could ask for $100 here and get someone pretty quick. Basically, I'm still at the same place on this quest, that I need to keep doing whatever I can to make this spot more appealing until I get someone to pay $150 a week. I just need to keep gassing up the pot. I'm already warming up to the idea that I may have to double down and build another cabin, because that enables another level up that I don't actually want people bringing their own tiny homes here at all. I want them to amend and adapt my cabins to what they need, because that's the encapsulating idea. It's that the more I provide, the more I can hold a standard which I can expect to be met. That this is the problem with such vassalage, that the autonomy of the situation needs to be managed, because it's up to me to decide what is the best way to make the property best for everyone. So previously on Farmlet Quest, you may recall we had a perspective on a number of ring boundary perimeters, and as our mission tree expands, this perimeter concept becomes more refined. Outer development to present more to offer to our vassal lords, and inward development of my red army units. That is the berry production operation, expanding that mission tree into fruit-based production power. Obviously, you should notice all the gravel. You should notice all the nice gravel. How all the paths are looking now. This gravel's been down for months now. Already got to the point where I'm just basically spraying once a week just to stay on top of any weeds coming up now. So we're expanding out towards the boundary where I'm mowing up these areas for the new vessel to bring their tiny home in. I need 2 new vessels across these 2 spots now. I need to get the bus and the tankway over there and the shed. I need to get it over there, and so I'm just mowing it up. So you will see I've started tossing the junk onto the garden islands that are being created out here as I do these frontline battle areas. I will fight the weeds with any weapon on hand, and that is because if you take a look at my most established garden island, right around this perimeter, as we continue, you are not really noticing how much garbage I used to have just sitting here. Everything is growing up nice and healthy, so I don't need to be on top of the weeds so much. I just keep the weeds back with the little snips now, which still looks a little bit hairy, but that's the process of occupying the conquered territory from these weeds, is allowing their dying resistance to fall away as my nice healthy trees and shrubs close in. So the next development for the next episode is we're going to see me just working on resetting each one of these garden islands and pulling out all the trash and smashing the weeds, which I think will be greatly refreshing. I'm going to claim back a lot of weed mats and stuff I can redeploy to more intensive lines. So I just keep it rolling, throwing everything I can get my hands on down at the frontier to give our troops the support they need to push back against the weed domination. So at the south side you will see some token resistance against enemy counter-offensive as I join with my vessels holding the main castle here on the attack in this area, by which I allowed them to erect this clothesline as a symbol of their victory in destroying the blackberry patch that had provided serious defiance and very little berries, I might add. And so it was vanquished, and from this position you might see that I have positioned a number of trees in this area to harden up the personal border of my own domains. Those $10 or $20 trees on special from the Bunnings, they are still key. We're putting top guys on the front line of the action out here. So just take a look at this one. This is the forest pansy, which I would have planted earlier this year during the FARMLETQUEST campaign. That's going to be really nice. But I don't really need this old sleep out here that I was using as my office. I don't need this office anymore. It's now been designated for special military development. This is for the Red Berry Army, who are now beginning the process of modernization of their fruity development and mobilization. Well, one of the success stories I have here is the raspberries here expanding rapidly over these territories we've occupied, and I spoke before on FARMLETQUEST about opportunism, looking for the opportunities that arise and just falling into it, and that's what's happened with the raspberries. These bushes are becoming quite voracious, allowing me to pluck along the edges along the path here little offshoots that I can keep transplanting across the property. And sure, less than half of these guys are going to survive, but each of them has the potential potential to become a massive, big old bush of raspberries that come in flushes from spring and in autumn. And in terms of the military composition of our armies, you see the elite troops of the strawberry. You can now see I've got preparing in this special designated training facility, and then you've got the regional militia composed of rugged raspberries who I'm establishing in many places across the property. Several offshoots I've cultivated in pots that become like bushes like what you saw before, and also just dozens of offshoots I've just root up and torn off and slipped back into the ground over here. Somewhere else, raspberry propagation is almost becoming the key activity right now on the expansion of the Red Berry Army. We still need 2 new vassals, but I don't have the initial quest complete to put all the components of the spot, that is the bus, the shed and the tank, back together, and I have to call a crane because I don't have any other ideas. I had to wait for summer to mow all of this up so the crane can come in summer without it sinking, then put my spot together. That's just how I'm going to have to deal with it, I guess. Otherwise, summer is pretty much here. This is the new season of Farmlet Quest, and with the new expanded mission tree to not only mobilize mass troops of the Red Berry Army, but to be able to prepare perhaps for 3 months in winter with no maintenance. I'm not here at all. So that spring comeback I've had to grind through just isn't so harsh, and that way I can get to posting videos of new progress and fresh activity and development ongoing and ramping up into the summer here on the Farmlet Quest.